Hi guys, hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Divine Vibes. Um, Again, this podcast or channel, whichever way you want to look at it, is about slowing down, connecting with God, and finding encouragement in your daily walk. So again, let's dive in and let His peace set the tone for your week. Okay, guys. So I have been so excited to talk about this. Um, so let's get to it. I'm really excited, and this is what I like. This is what it gets me going. It's just been a good day. It's just really been a good day. So we are gonna talk about, I think her name, and I hope I'm not pronouncing her name wrong. Leanna, Lena, Leanna, I think. I'm just gonna say Leanna. I hope that is her. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. But she is Travis Hunter's wife, and everybody that's in the sports, that's into all that, that is invested in the game and things like that, knows who Travis Hunter is. I know that before I had logged out of my social media and stuff. I had seen some things that has been floating around about a divorce with them. It's just been crazy, y'all. Like, I've seen so much, but I look and then I keep scrolling because I just that ain't what can I do about that? It is what it is. Um, but I'm gonna always hope for the best. For people in life situations and marriage and things like that. Life is life, and I know that none of this is easy. But I do want to talk about Leanna's latest post. Again, I'm not on social media. I'm still logged out of Snapchat and Instagram. Um, but I seen her post had made it to YouTube, and I was just scrolling, looking at some other people's devotional videos and things like that, and I came across um, some posts that she had made, and I was reading them, and I'm just like, whoa! Like, it was really exciting, and I love it, and I love it for her. So she made several posts. Basically about her testimony, the things that she was going through, some of the things that she's dealing with, and the beginning of a relationship with God that she chose for herself to want, especially feeling like she has hit rock bottom. And I know people will think, how this girl hitting rock bottom and her man got this and he doing this for her and stuff like. Sometimes a lot of that stuff that people that y'all be seeing, that don't mean nothing, baby, because when your soul is aching, no money can buy, no car, you know nothing, none of those materialistic things that the social media world, that the world in general wants you to think that you have to have it to feel good. No, you can have all that and still be hurting on the inside. It's some things that only God can recover you from, can pull you out of. So I really just sat and read her post, and I'm just like, my God, like again, I love this for her. I am just really happy for her, and this is the type of stuff that I look for. These are the type of things that I want to take my notes, and it's encouraging for me. And there was, as I was reading her post, and I promise I'm gonna get to it, y'all, that a lot of them I can go to certain scriptures that I felt like, okay, this is this right here, like, wow. So I love it, and I hope and I pray she keeps going. I pray she keeps it up, and I pray she keeps going. So starting with her first post, um let me see here. Okay, bless her heart. um she had put, on January the 2nd of this year, on a random beach in DR. I decided to give my life to Jesus after hitting what I felt like rock bottom. To me, the previous 2 months, I was in the worst mental space, and I felt like I had nobody who could relate or understand what it felt like to have millions of people dislike you over a false narrative that was painted. As someone who as someone who once cared so much what others thought about me, I couldn't stand feeling so disliked. So I think this is like a typo right here. So I prayed and gave it all to Jesus. I cried and asked him for strength, forgiveness, and for him to reveal himself um to her. Okay, let's talk about this post right here. First of all, her skin is glowing. She looks good. Um the one thing I do want to point out in that first post, where she has stated in particular, I had nobody who could relate or understand what it felt like to have millions of people dislike you over false narratives that was painted. Y'all, I kid you not. Before I came across this, I was doing my devotional reading this morning, and my devotion, it had me in the book of Psalms, and the title of my devotion was God will deliver you. Y'all kid y'all not. This is, well, I tell you, I had chills. I'm just so excited about this. I'm excited to tell y'all about this. Okay. I was in Psalms 18, verse 18 through 20. When I thought about this before I moved over and read the rest of her posts, it reminded me of my devotion that I was reading. It reminded me of David. This reminds me of David in um Psalms 18 through 20. Um, and in that chapter and those verses, that right there in particular is talking about God's deliverance and vindication. Okay. It talks about how God acted as the strength that David needed and his support that David also needed, and delivering him from his enemies and bringing him to a place of safety. In particular, in verse 20, the righteousness and the cleanness of hands was referring to David's faithfulness to God and his innocence against all accusations. And just to be clear with Psalms 20, with that whole devotion right there, it had a lot to do with David refusing to kill Saul when he had the chance. Okay. And so what I feel like it reminded what her posts and just all the stuff that that was going on the internet and stuff like that. That they was, saying that he can do better. He don't need to marry her. She's gonna divorce him and take all his money. She's plotting. Just, and then bringing up old videos of, I guess, her talking to other people. I don't know. I don't know. Um, just really making this girl look like she was just in it for one thing. But regardless, he still moved forward and married her. You know, and that made the world mad for those who were extremely invested in it. They just felt like he made the worst decision of his life, and they said that, well, he's young, you live and you learn, and may this be a lesson for. I mean, like, they was just going in, and we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We only know what is put on the internet. And let me tell y'all something. The internet can be used for such greatness, but it can also be the devil's playground all at the same time. And we know people are, they lie, they do rumors, we know that all of that is out there. We know that all of that is out there. And for all that to have came out, whether it's true or not, I don't think nobody stepped back and thought about how this was really making her feel, or how this was really making him feel. They couldn't have, because it was just left and right with just different just stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, just it is what it is. Like, he married her. Ain't none of y'all in the bed with them but them. So whatever decision they decided to make, he decided to make, that's what it is. Oh well. The boy's still playing as far as I'm concerned. She's still a wife at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned. But her, for her to speak up and talk about the accusations and the false narrative about her, um again, whether she is guilty or not, of it, it put her in such a dark place. It put her in a dark place. And just like with David was put in a he was in a narrow space. He was in a narrow space, in a dark place, but God removed him from that and placed him in a spacious place. And God gave him the strength to face, all the accusations that was painted against him. And in the end, David won, regardless of what the enemy was trying to do or how bad the enemy was trying to destroy him. David is a prime example that God can deliver. He can deliver you, honey. He can really deliver you. So it just, I just thought about this, and I thought about my devotion. I'm just like, oh, it's looking like David up in here. Um, I feel like also, with whatever she had going on, in the past, whether she was with him, or not with him. Like I said, at the end of the day, that was his choice. He knew that that's who he wanted to marry. Um, her situation, even David's situation. So her situation, God still stepped in. He answered her. He was there for her. He responded to her. He given her strength, and he supported her through all of this. This is not a claim of sinless perfection, y'all. This is not what this is about. Because we all have done or is doing something we ain't got no business doing at some point in life or right now. So who am I to judge? I don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. So again, for her and David, even David, this is not, even for him, um, this is not a claim of sinless perfection. Because we know, I'm sure David did some things that God didn't like, or whatever it may be. It's not a it's the claim is not that. But it is an assertion that God rewarded him due to his integrity and faithfulness. And for her, he could do the same for her. He rewarded her. He responded to her because why? She chose she chose for God to be in her life. At that moment in that time, she chose to want a relationship with God. She opened herself up to God. She was willing to trust God and put God first and allow him to come in and do what was needed to do. She asked for forgiveness. She cried. She asked for strength. She prayed. God answered. God answered. And going to the next post that she put, she said, I kid you not. 2 days on January 4th, later I had my first convention. And I heard God tell me that I had to stop cursing. The first week after this was the hardest because it is how I spoke. And I've always spoke that way. Like she said, she's always spoke that way. But I put in my best effort. So some of it did get cut out because she said, I think January 13th or 14th. So I didn't see the rest of that. But for the most important part, where she said the first week after, this was the hardest because it's how I spoke and how I always spoken. I'm just excited for the girl. Um, in that second post, it's a continual testimony that she's sharing of God responding to her. And while he is supporting her and giving her the strength that she's needing, and he is bringing her out of the darkness and favoring her in the face of the enemies, he's also um, instructing her, hey, while I'm fixing you and getting you from here to here, this is what I need you to do in the meantime. I got some instructions for you to follow. I need you to stop cussing. She said that was him speaking to her. And then I also love the fact that she took accountability after that, because she said this is how I spoke. This is how I've always spoken. That was her language. It's what she was saying. That was her language. That was all she knew. That was how she knew how to communicate. But God knew how that wasn't gonna work. As it wasn't gonna work. There was some things that she was gonna have to let go of so that he can be able to shape her and mold her into the woman that he is needing to be for her, for his kingdom and glory. So some things gonna have to be put up and thrown away, tossed to the side, and don't look back. And that cursing is one thing he pointed out. So that had to been the worst of the worst. And he was just like, we go have to let that go. So I'm praying that she's keeping that up. Um, and when I think about that, um, the thing that what he was telling her, to stop the cursing and stuff like that. And as I said before, shaping her and molding her to being the woman that he needs her to be for his kingdom and glory. I feel like he's like transitioning her, helping her, getting rid of old self, getting rid of old self. And I think about that gospel song, Make Me Over. I'm not going to sing it, y'all, because I'm not vocal ready. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not vocal ready. And then I'm a little under the weather at the same time. So I'm going to pass on that. Okay. And then her third post, oh, I love this one too. This was so heartfelt. Um, she said, a month and 2 days after giving my life to Jesus, I found out that I was pregnant. I was on birth control, so this was a complete shock to me. It's kind of funny to me now because one of the biggest prayers before I found out was praying for patience. And oh, how humorous our God is. He gave me the ultimate test of patience and perseverance. I went through all the emotions, but being a month in the Bible at this point, I had read in Genesis that God created us all in his image, and I felt so guilty for being or feeling anything but joy that God had trusted me to bear his fruit. Girl, you better come on now. So any doubt or fear I had disappeared, and I promised myself I would be the best mother to my child and teach him all about how good our God is. So she said him, so I don't know, maybe that's what she wanted as a boy. Uh so him or her, whichever one God has already um prepared in her womb, she's gonna be the best mother to her child. Point blank period. Um I love that. I really, oh girl, you just come on now. I love this for you. What is the one thing that stood out? Oh girl, she just got me so excited. Um, I had read in Genesis that God created us all in his image, and I felt so guilty for being or feeling anything but joy that God had trusted me to bear his. Okay. I love this for her, y'all. I really do. I'm telling you, I was so excited. I could not wait. I could not wait to speak on this. I'm enjoying this. I love her testimony. I love how far she has come. And I know that she knows she still has a long way to go, but God is going to take care of her. And then her next post, months later, I got to marry my best friend. I remember feeling so happy that I wasn't living in sin anymore. LOL. I had done so much reading at this point, and then again it cut off, y'all. I'm sorry. But baby, let me tell you about this post right here. She said, feeling so happy that I wasn't living in sin. I felt that. I felt that. And the moment that I read that, I immediately knew what this queen was talking about. I immediately knew. Because let me tell you something. The moment that I read that part in particular, y'all want to know what chapter it took me to? And what book? 1 Corinthians 7, concerning married life. But in particular, 1 Corinthians 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Whenever y'all get a chance, go ahead and read 1 Corinthians 7, 1 through 9. 8 and 9 comes with key points: celibacy, celibacy versus marriage, sexual desires, marriage as a solution, and focus on self-control. And verse 9 in particular, y'all, that verse burn, have your eyes burning, honey, because God said what he said. He said, but if they cannot control themselves, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion. Yeah, I knew exactly what Queen was talking about. Oh, y'all, I love it. When she said wasn't living in sin anymore, I know exactly what she was talking about. And it brought me to that book, that chapter, that verse. When y'all get a chance, please read 1 Corinthians 7, really all of 7, but in particular 7, verse 1 through 9, because that's what she was talking about. Um, I'm currently in a relationship myself, and um, that's my man, my man. Um, I do pray. I pray for marriage. I do see myself spending the rest of my life with him. But just in that moment of what she said, I'm just like, girl, like this, y'all, like, let's take accountability real quick. Like, it is what it is. Like, I know that um work is to be done, and it's that now that you know better, do better. And I know that things happen, the temptations and everything behind that. But even then, it's really not an excuse, because we serve a God that can hold you back from all of that even happening. Like, when he say he got you, he mean in every aspect of life, he got you. Her next post that she had posted, this one, I love this. I'm just so proud of her, y'all. I'm so excited about this. I couldn't wait to tell y'all, because this is what this is about. This is what I really want my channel to be about. Just the testimonies, just the encouragement of whatever that can get us through. Like, everybody is going through something in life, and to just for God to be her solution and her answer by choice that she chooses to go to not only get out of darkness, but to have your life changed altogether. And I thank God I just came across this. It was just okay. Let me get back to it, y'all, because y'all know I'll be talking about this all day. Um, so she said, the closer I got to God, the further I felt from anything or anyone who wasn't like Jesus and didn't reflect him. I pray daily that my husband will see Jesus through me. Come on now, and want to commit and give his life to Jesus as well. I will tell him every day about what I read and what I've learned, and while he would listen, I knew that his journey was his, and I just prayed God would one day reveal himself to him like he did me. You better say that. I had been going to church by myself for months at this point, and in July Travis finally decided to go with me. I remember praying so hard that God would touch him and show himself to Travis so that he could experience even a fraction of what I have felt for months. Girl, if this girl could not call you, girl, I love it. Oh, I love you. Let me tell y'all something. First of all, let me not get ahead of myself because I'm happy. She said the closer I got to God, the further I felt from anything or anyone who wasn't like Jesus and didn't reflect him. Yo, when I read what she said, that right there, it brought me back. It brought me back to my devotion earlier that day. Her saying that it is the same as my devotion, and the affirmation of my devotion, um and the book in the book of Psalms 18 verse 18-20. The affirmation of that is God will deliver you from any and everything that is not of him. And what she say, the closer I got to God, the further I felt from anything or anyone who wasn't like Jesus and didn't reflect him. Y'all, is it just me? I'm here for it. I am here for it. And I just love how all this connected together. God will deliver you. He will. He will. And just her saying that, I'm just like, that was my devotion. That was Psalms, in the book of Psalms. This is, I know. I know what she means. I know what she means. And anybody who is in their word and in their devotion and is tapped in, this should be very exciting for you. Like, it's just all connected. It's all connected. And I just feel like it's also just reassurance. God is in the neighborhood, y'all. He's in the neighborhood. He's healing. He's healing. He's blessing those who are willing to give their life to him and trust him that he will bring them out of any darkness and anything they may be facing in life. And for her, you know, her status is pretty big. Her platform, her life is not really private because, who she's married to and things like that. So coming with all that and the hate and stuff that she was getting, this is how some people be commit suicide and stuff like this, bullying and stuff like that. And I'm just so glad that she did not allow that to get so, like, to just drag her so ragged, y'all. um that would have been a decision that she chose, but instead she ran to God. And I love it. I'm here for it. And even in this picture, the girl is glowing, honey. You show out. I'm here for it. And also, he ended up getting baptized. Her husband did. I just love the fact that just praying. It's the praying for me. You praying for your spouse. It's nothing like a wife praying over her husband, and vice versa. It's nothing like, I'm gonna tell you something. Praying for someone, that's a different type of love language right there. That's some real special type of love. That is some real special type of love. And I love the fact that she prayed, and she was very particular with her prayer, how she wanted, how she asked for God to handle her husband so that he can see. She said that so that he can see Jesus in her. Y'all, I kid you not. I know that me and my man ain't married yet, and I still be slipping up and calling him my husband. But no mistake of what I said though. That's how, like, I know that I'm not the only one, and I love this, and I'm glad that I read her post, because I'm just like, I do. These are some of the things that I do, and I know, like, like I said, he's not my husband yet, but when I tell you, I pray for my man, I pray, I pray for my man, and even in the relationships that I had before him, I prayed. I was just so upset because it was just like every time I prayed for, who I was dealing with, I look up and they gone. So I would like get so upset, like, God, what's up? is it me? Like, what am I doing? And I started having insecurities all over again because I'm just like, God, why I can't keep no man? What is, And I started blaming me. But then I got to realize when you praying and you asking God to respond, you better get ready for his response. You better get ready for answer prayers. He might not answer on how you expect him to answer. Because for me, when things happen and I was no longer with the guy, that was God answering my prayer. He was just like, I can give you who you want me to give you, who I feel like is fit for you, but you gonna have to stand out the way and allow me to do the request of what you asked me to do. So I had to learn. I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now. He was removing those who were not for me. And so when I pray for my man now, it does feel a little different. It feels different from what I've had dealt with in the past. My prayers is not pushing him away. I don't see him being removed or anything, because I'm just like, God go remove you for a fact. I know, because he's did it in the past. So when me constantly praying for him, I'm just like, okay, my man's solid. He ain't went nowhere. I'm like, come on, God, what's up? What's up? What's up? Is he the one? But like just like she prayed for her husband, I pray for my man like that. You know, um, I pray for marriage over us, because I don't want to live in a particular sin with my man, you know. And I also had to learn that I love him enough to not put him before God either. And those are some of the issues I had in the past. And God had to wake me, like, God was just like, okay, look, I'm trying to get you out of this, but you keep pushing me away and you go be running in circles. So I had to let go. So I love my man enough to not put him before God. Um, and trusting in God with our relationship. Um, it's beautiful because, even then, not just with my man, but even my son. Um, I pray that, when my son, as he sees me as his mother, that he also see God, that he see Jesus in me. Even with, my man, the same thing. I pray so hard for my man, y'all, that I be praying that God give him discernment, like, so that he can see me beyond human eyes, that only it will require God to show him who I am. I ask that God allow my man to see me how he sees me. Like, I'm telling you, I don't want no secrets. I don't need nothing. I want God to give my man the, like, unedited, uncut. See me so he can see my heart and know that this is me, that this is genuinely how I feel about you, X, Y, and Z. And also to put me in the position to prepare myself to be the wife that God wants me and needs me to be for him, and vice versa. And this is just me praying outside of us not even being married yet, baby. And may my prayer life continue to be strong and strong. And as I continue to pray for my relationship with with my man, that we do all the things that is right, and like I said, when she said that she was glad that she was no longer living in sin, I felt that. And I don't want that for me and my man either. So these are things, that I constantly pray for, like, Lord, while we got time, put us in position to get it right. Put us in position to get it right. I love this for her. I love this for her. I love the glow. I love the fact that he was willing to go ahead and do it despite of the noise. Silence the noise of the world and focus on each other, but keep God in the center. So I pray, and hope that moving forward, as she continues her journey with God, that she learns, and God helps her to master how to silence the noise around her and to focus on her man and her family, but most importantly, keep God in the center of their marriage. Because he gonna be the glue that's gonna hold on, it's gonna stick forever. I promise you. But this is definitely just encouraging to me. I love to hear her. I love to hear this story. I'm not on social media, so I'm not able to just keep up um with anything. But if y'all come across her and y'all see something else or whatever it may be, I'm coming down below because I love it. This is just encouraging for me, and this I love it. I love it. I love it. She's a queen. She's beautiful. She's glowing. And God is not done with her. He's not done with her yet. This is just the beginning. So the enemies, y'all might as well go find y'all something safe to do because this ain't it. She's already covered in the blood of Jesus, and I pray that they just keep it up and they don't allow outsiders in their ears. That she can be truthful, submissive, loyal, genuine, and all of the good things that God is needing her to be for Him, and vice versa. So I'm rooting for their marriage, and I love that. I love young love. I love to see couples, even at our age in this generation, doing the right thing because I know the world is trying to make us believe that marriage is out the window and that we need to normalize what we know God is not okay with and things like that. Don't let the world eat y'all up and send y'all to hell. Don't do it. Get married, look, because I'm praying. I'm praying. Look, I don't even want a wedding, honey. We can go knock on the door at the office at the Justice and Peace. A wedding is a day, but a marriage is what counts. So I'm rooting for them, y'all. I'm just so happy, y'all. I really, really am. And I was just so glad that I was able to to share this with y'all, just how I felt about it and how everything just connected. Because, like I said, I had read up on my devotion earlier before I even saw this, and I'm just like, oh, this baby's David right now, but God about to bring her out of it. So yeah, I'm just excited, y'all, and this is what this is about. So let's continue to affiliate and um, love on one another and be a real sisterhood, brotherhood. Let's build that community of Christ and let's show the world the examples of what it's like to be a believer, what it's like to be obedient. I love it. So I will be lurking, looking out. Hopefully I come across more testimonies, and baby, I'm gonna get my pen and paper. I felt like a little journalist today, honey, getting all this together because I was excited to tell it. Um, but yeah, this is great. I love it, and I look for more. Hopefully that um, more can come to me, and let's share. And if there's anybody out there local that has anything that they want to bring to the forefront, let's talk about it. This is what this is about, y'all. And I'm happy. So yes, thanks for hanging out with me today here on Divine Vibes. Again, may you continue to be guided by God's light. Carry those divine vibes into your week. And don't you forget, you are chosen, you're loved, and God is not done with your story yet. Talk soon.